Welcome back to part 2 of the PMP exam reference list overview. Fourth book in the list called Effective Project Management, Traditional, Agile, Extreme, Hybrid. Just keep in mind that there is no ranking in this list. It's just a list of the books, reference books. This book is about, even though it is published in 2011, it talks about the contemporary project environment, which is characterized by high speed, high change, lower cost, complex, uncertainty, high uncertainty, and host of other factors. That because this presents a daunting challenge to the project manager. That's why, according to the author, the contemporary project environment presents the project manager and the client with a number of challenges to managing such projects effectively. And he noticed that very little is written about distressed projects and managing multiple team projects. That's why the book includes 5 different project management lifecycle models: linear, incremental, iterative, adaptive, and extreme, to manage any type of project. And you will see on the PMP training as well, the idea is to choose whatever is best fitting your project. Because it's not just the characteristic of the project, the complexity and the other details, but the business and organizational environment in which the project is undertaking is the key as well. It's a good reference book, but again, it's not the exam prep book. It teaches you how you can manage this challenging environment, the different types of project. Okay, next book's called Fundamentals of Technology Project Management. It is really based on the project fundamentals. Quite process oriented. There's too much information. You should have read this book when you start working as a PCO, Project Control Officer, or Junior Project Manager, Junior Project Lead. The information is still, active. You can use the information, but it's kind of outdated. And it is kind of based on the PMP 4th edition, if I may say. And as I said, it touches the team development leaderships and, how you become a better project manager. But some other information it's unnecessary over there. If you have option to, borrow from your library or the any, the book companies, then you can skim through. Otherwise, it's the same information what you have in the PMP. Okay, this is another book, Project Manager's Portable Handbook. Again, it is really kind of outdated. It's the third edition, published in 2010. It gives you a hands-on guide, quick access to current information on project management concepts and practices. There is more practical details on the third edition, and they talk about the skills and attitudes required to manage project. It is a compact reference, summarizes best practices for defining, designing, developing, and producing project results. And but also they provide, handy tables, charts, models, and some boxes to illustrate information is important for you. They talk about the project leadership and how you initiate, and actually it's important competencies. Okay, they identify 4 competencies is important: knowledge, which is, again, it is key for the PMP exam, because they look for the knowledge management and related skills. Of course, the still is important to project management theory, concept, and practices. and also capability to use the project management techniques and tools to, get the better result. And also ability to integrate and use knowledge and skills in effective manner. And the fourth is, as a project manager, is that you should be able to motivate your teams, and you should be able to create aspiration for your team members and the stakeholders and all this. So that's why they have good points. If you kind of in the between, you are not so senior project manager, you may find some stuff is quite useful. But when you are reading, you have to be careful about it, because still is the, kind of about over 10 years old, this book. And this time, as you can see, PMI is providing separating kind of, because the project management is global in every industry, but now they are more concentrated on, information technology project management. That's why this book is more on the technology side, but it's similar to PMBOK 5th edition, follows the same structure, but they added more exercises to enhance, your learning, and they added some content on the leadership and Agile, because it's published in 2016. It highlights the IT project management at environments, and the exercises, the some case studies, and there's some examples from the big IT organizations, and they also included some many recent studies of IT project management and related topics. Okay, that's why it's 7th edition. What is it? Is that they've incorporated all the feedback they received from the reviewers from the previous versions and included over there. But interestingly, which is you should be careful, because they included the detailed guide to the Microsoft project 2013, which is in the exam. You will never get any question related to Microsoft project. You may get a question about the project management information systems, but it's nothing specific to Microsoft project or anything. That's why if you are reading this book, just disregard this section. This is another book. It's called Essential Scrum, a practical guide to the most popular Agile processes. All right, because in the exam is not specific to Scrum, but most of Scrum activities, processes, the tools and techniques are accepted as Agile. And that's why you will see, and reading these books will give you this information. It is really, it provides the basic information for all team members and the managers and executives to understanding the Scrum, understand this vocabulary, terminology, and practical knowledge about the Scrum. That's why it is good book if you are not familiar with the Scrum or Agile processes. Uh, Agile frameworks and methods, and so I strongly recommend you to review this. But just keep in mind, again, it's published in 2012. But it's still the same information, because also the PMI's world, they are following the Agile, as you know, from the Agile practice guide. I mentioned it, they are following the Agile manifesto and principles published in 2001. Okay, that's why it's a beneficial book if you don't know, for instance, the retrospective or sprint planning, and so it will give you the basic information. Okay, this book, The Project Management, the Managerial Process, is written for a wider audience. It's not just for the project managers, but everyone is involved in projects that can benefit from this book. And also book includes the Agile and leadership skills, knowledge, and so. That's why it is quite lots of information, and it talks about the integration of projects within the organization and why you need to, effective project portfolio management and, outsourcing and this kind of information. That's why it is good. The text is structured to meet the needs of those, preparing for the PMP exam or CAPM, Certified Associate in Project Management Certification exam. That's why the text has in-depth coverage of the most critical topics found in the PMI's project management. It's a good read, but most of the information you may already know. That's why, I recommend you to, just skim through to see if there is anything missing. Okay, the last book in our reference list is the Project Management Toolkit, 100 Tips and Techniques for Getting the Job Done Right. It's based on the Project Management PMP guide, okay, but it talks about everything, all the, the tools and techniques, but with the practical tips, how you can use it and so on. That's why, what you need to do for cost estimating, communication, defining using project metrics, and everything that you can use even if you're an experienced project manager. You can use this book review to see if you have any missing point that you need to learn more and you have to understand. That's why it is a kind of toolkit. It talks about all the tools and it gives you the cross-reference to the related processes within the PMBOK. But also keep in mind that it is published in 2013. It means we are talking about, PMBOK 4th or 5th edition. But it's, it's a reference book. That's why it is good to have it, but if you are an experienced project manager and you have a knowledge about the Agile and quite experienced with the traditional approaches, it's overkilling. But if you have an option to, borrow it and skim through, do it. Good luck. Okay, this was the end of our session and we will look at all the reference books. You can access this list on the PMI website and when you fill your application you will see. My recommendation is definitely download the reference book. When you are watching these videos, I am not sure. That's why they might update. If they update, I will update this reference list as well. On the other hand, if you want to have the more information, if you want to see our upcoming courses and everything, please visit our website akunaconsulting.com, because as a certified instructor, Akuna Consulting is the authorized training partner. We are running all the courses over there. Again, you can reach me through the LinkedIn, follow me on Twitter. Any questions, send me an email. Just reply, comment on this channel, but feel free. And also, good luck with your PMP.